this cold snap on its way, it might be smart to spend part of this weekend preparing to keep your plants safe as well. So what are the best practices for covering your plants, and what is in the most danger? Dr. Joe Willis with the LSU Ag Center joins us now with some tips. Dr. Willis, thank you so much for joining us. When people start to cover their plants, what should they do first, and what plants are most susceptible as we have this cold coming our way?
Okay. Well, the first thing you want to do, if anything is dry, water it, because wet soil will absorb the heat energy, and then when it gets cold at night, that soil stays warm longer and will transmit the heat to keep the plants warm. So you want to make sure things are watered. Another thing you want to make sure is anything that's tender that would definitely be harmed by freezing temperatures. If it's in a container, move it inside. If anything's outside and has new growth started on it, even if the plant can take the cold, that new growth will be very tender and it won't survive the cold. So you want to take anything in that you can that's in containers. If you can mulch, if you have time to do that, mulch, because that's going to hold the soil moisture and the soil temperature in. And so it helps to protect the roots, keep them warm, and to keep the plants from freezing. So you want to do that. And if you have larger plants that are outside, you want to cover those if they're susceptible. The cover needs to go over the plant and straight to the ground. You want to form a tent over the root system because the plant is going to be warmed by the soil. The plant doesn't make any heat itself, so if you cover it and tie it around the base of the plant, it's not doing any protection. You have to bring it down and make it like a skirt over the soil so that the soil can release the heat and keep the plant warm.
Are the local plants, things that are naturally growing in Louisiana, are those also susceptible to this cold, or are they going to be prepared to withstand this a little better than maybe something that's more tropical?
Well, one of the nice things about the cold we're getting is we've had some days leading up to it of cold weather. And so when the plants experience that, they increase the sugars in their juices on the inside. Essentially, they're making like an antifreeze. And so they've had time to do that. If it was a sudden drop in temperature, it would be very, very bad for all of our plants. So our native plants, anything that you grow outside normally, that harm at freezers, it should be fine. Now, if it has some new tender growth on it and you want to protect that, that would be a good idea. Otherwise, that new growth might get burned, but the plant will just make more new growth.
Okay, so how long are we keeping things covered after the cold snap? And if something unfortunately does not make it, how long do you wait before cutting it back?
Okay, now with your plants, you want to cover them at night because that's when it's going to be cold. The next morning, especially if it's going to be sunny, you want to get that cover off just as soon as it warms up past the freezing point. Because if you leave the cover on, it's going to act like a greenhouse. And so it's going to get really, really hot underneath that cover. And protecting your plant from the freeze, if you don't take the cover off, you could actually kill it with the heat. So as soon as it warms up, the sun comes up, take the cover off. We might have a couple nights of cold, so have the cover ready and put it on again as the sun goes down to protect it the next night. But you definitely want to take it off when the sun's coming up. Otherwise, it can really damage your plant. And if your plant gets damaged by the freeze, then it depends on the plant, but most of them you want to start pruning away that frozen part as soon as the weather warms up in the spring. When you see the new buds on the plant swelling, then go ahead and cut all that frozen part off. If it's a succulent plant like a banana or a ginger, as soon as you can, if it's frozen, cut that away because those succulent soft tissue plants are just going to turn into a slimy mess if you leave them for very long.
Dr. Joe Willis, thank you so much for joining us, and great tips. Hopefully everyone's plants survive. Fingers crossed on that one. Thank you.
Oh yeah. And don't forget to have that pipe dripping.
I know. We got lots of pipes tips today too. So it's all prep
sure.
all weekend, I think.